And the burden's on Miss Milner. So, Miss Milner, tell me what's going on.
We've had this hearing before, and I've explained myself before, and I sent in evidence. I'm not sure if I have to do that again.
You're gonna do it all over again because I'm somebody else.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, I'm a YouTuber,
Mm-hmm.
and sorry, I just had surgery, so I have to get my thoughts together. But I'm a YouTuber, and Shauna is a fellow YouTuber as well. And she just came to my house one day, and she attacked me, and that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever seek a temporary protective order?
No, I didn't. I didn't really find the need to at the time.
Okay. And has there been any other incidents after this?
Yes.
Okay. And when was those?
Just recently, I've just there's been some things that has still been going on as far as YouTube, threatening and things behind the scenes. As far as like my real life, she has been online and behind the scenes with two other individuals, planning to have people follow me, take pictures. They've been posting pictures of my car, my my license plates, and different pictures of my own. And that's recorded.
Mm-hmm. And this matter was previously there was a warrant issued, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, there was a warrant issued based off of what I presented. I guess she wanted to present her side. I guess.
Okay.
Your Honor, a warrant was issued because I was unaware of the court appearance and I was not present.
Okay. All right.
I
Okay.
believe that's what I just said, but
All right. All right. Miss N, tell me what you want to tell me.
Um, we are both fellow YouTubers. And when I first met Delonda, which we call her Mink on online, um, we were all cool. We were cool. And then in the area that we do YouTubing, it's a lot of drama. So it's bickering, battering, folks fussing and fighting and carrying on. So we were cordial, we were cool. Then we became not cool because another person, another fellow YouTuber that was friends with us, um, her child was doxxed, or she was doxxed. Okay. And dox is when your information, your personal information is brought online to YouTube, things that you have not shared, okay, with ill intent. So I was supposed to have been the blame for this. And come to find out, it was not true. So her and her group of, she has like a squad. It's her little group of people that support her supporters or what have you. They trolled me, basically harassed and online stalked me in chats, dropping different comments, talking about my turban, talking about my physical appearance. And we would go back and forth sometimes on panels or what have you. And then I started blocking them all. Um, After maybe 6 or 7 months, I don't even know how long her and that girl was friends, but then they friendship ended. And then she started to kind of be cool with me again, which I accepted her apology. I did send a video of an apology where this was like kind of simplified and from her words, stating that she apologized. She trolled me, which it is another term used online for following people around and talking stuff or whatever, being catty or what have you. They trolled me for over a year, but she ended up apologizing. We was cordial again. Then another situation happened. Energies erupted, and we was on a platform, live stream, and we talking stuff. Talking stuff. peer pressure, all kind of stuff. So she like, and I'm like, pull up on you. And she like, well, here's my address. She verbally stated her address on that platform, and then she put it in the back chat, which is on YouTube. You have on StreamYard, you have a back chat where you can, kind of privately chat without the audience knowing exactly what you're saying. Make a long story short, she put the address in there, and I did include that in one of the emails, the many emails that I sent in, the screenshot of her putting her address in the back chat. Gets there. I'm thinking, and I'm kind of trying to remember because this was back in May. I'm trying to remember everything, but I can't remember everything, but just based off of what I do remember. Get there, she's standing outside, I'm like, I ain't going in that driveway, or whatever. So.
But at any point in time, did you ever go to the driveway and assault her?
I never assaulted her. I didn't put my hands on her. Now she did. I did run up like I was going to put my hands on her, but that's when I saw that she had a hammer. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? So I turned to run and she snatched me by my hair, which one of my dreadlocks, and she has a picture of it where she was taunting after the fact with a picture of my dreadlock and my cellular phone, because I ended up dropping my phone like, oh my goodness, this girl is serious. She got a dang on hammer. Let me get the heck up out of here. And I jumped in my car and I pulled off. So my phone was taken by Delonda Milner.
I said I didn't come to that.
A piece of my hair that she still has a souvenir. So, she did mention something about me threatening her. I have not threatened her, as I stated, Your Honor. I have did my due diligence as far as utilizing the options and the features that YouTube gives me, and that's block. My block list is maybe about 175 people, because sometimes, we'll laugh and joke or be catty, but when it gets to a serious point where people are putting your address and putting your phone number out there for other people to contact you and stuff like that, when it gets too serious, I'll just block that and try to refrain from, that environment.
Okay.
So no threatening behind the scenes. I don't need to gather with anyone. As we both stated, she gave me the address. I pulled up. I don't need to run with a crew and go and stalk. I have 4 children. My oldest daughter is in the military, armed forces, air forces. And then I have 3 small children. True enough, I made a decision to go out there. You know what I'm saying? It didn't end well as far as my phone being taken and my dread being snatched out, ripped out of my hair. I also sent a video of her admitting that. That's in the email as well. But no stalking and harassing as far as on my end. No threatening. I don't need to threaten the young lady. Definitely not taking pictures of anyone, because that's not my MO.
But but you did actually get out your car. You drove up out your car and went to the driver with the intention of causing some, or at least have an altercation or whatever it is with her, correct?
I actually thought, because basically, like I just stated, we were cool. Then we, you know what I'm saying, they stalked, they did the little trolling thing, the online thing. Then we were cool again. And then that situation happened. I actually thought we were going to be able to have a conversation.
Okay.
And do the little bluff or whatever the case may be. I didn't think it was going to get to my braid, my lock being snatched out. Definitely didn't feel like that.
All right. Ms. Milner, did you have any type of injuries?
Yes, I did. The ambulance, EMT did come out as well.
And do you have any pictures of that?
I believe I sent those in with my evidence before. If I need to send it again, I can get it.
Well, I have here the evidence that you have. Most of all the information I do have is from, let me look.
Can I say something right quick, Your Honor?
No. I'm talking to Ms. Milner right now. So you have pictures. Now, what is it? Where did she strike you at?
In my face.
Okay. And all this was captured on live stream?
Yes. And she also bit me. So I have that as well. And that's also on live stream. I'm asking her, why did she bite me?
Okay. Now, did you happen to copy? Did you have pictures from this live stream, or do you have?
Yes, I have video.
You have video?
Yes.
And you provided that to the court?
I did. I don't know if you like.
Let me see.
So
I see some YouTube stuff here.
Right. When they cool. When they beefing, it's funny as hell. They both get on my goddamn nerves. But we just gonna keep it clear.
That's not mine.
I'm saying that I've had beef with Room Shaker, and I've also had beef with.
I'm looking at the evidence. Go ahead.
But I can be woman enough to say that some beef started from, you know what I'm saying? It was unnecessary. The beef with Stoke, with Room Shaker, it was ignited by Stoke. It was. And I could be a woman enough to.
Is this you, Miss Hinton?
I could.
That's Miss Milner saying exactly how she stopped me or did the trolling thing and how she apologized.
No, it was very much so gradual. Like I had to take steps, you know, realizing that, you know, as a woman, like, all right, that shit was petty. You know what I'm saying? We did say some things that was hurtful to each other. I did some things to Coolin that was probably very hurtful. But when I know the cause of me doing that could have made her Coolin that was petty. You know what I'm saying? We did say some things that was hurtful to each other. I did some things to Coolin that was probably very hurtful. But when I know that the cause of me doing that could have made her feel, you know, some type of way or whatever, I'm always going to apologize. Like, forever. Right. No matter what, are we besties? No, I mean, well, no, I'm gonna say that's my bestie, but I'm just gonna say I'm woman enough to say I'm always going to apologize, like forever. No matter what, are we besties? No, I mean, well, no, I'm gonna say that's my bestie, but I'm just gonna say I'm woman enough to say that I know that I said some things, did some things as far as Coolin is concerned. We were attacking Coolin, but I'm gonna talk about this day right here. As far as that's my bestie, but I'm just gonna say I'm woman enough to say that I know that I said some things, did some things as far as Coolin is concerned. We were attacking Coolin, but I'm gonna talk about this day right here that Coolin was talking about because it says.
Your Honor. So that I'm not sure why that is relevant because this has nothing to do with what happened that day, and it also that video is from way before this actually happened. There's a lot of things that happened after that. This has nothing to do with it's irrelevant to what we're talking about now because I wasn't apologizing.
Miss Milner is relevant to me. Okay,
that's fine. What I can tell you is the date for that. This was so what she was able to tell you is that there was a period of time that her and I had like this ongoing, like I would say like beef. Okay, on YouTube. It stayed on YouTube. After that, we actually became cool. Okay, so that is. The reason why I'm saying that is irrelevant is because that is something that's talking about something that happened years ago. Okay, I'm apologizing for things that happened years ago in 2021. Okay, this situation with her coming to my home happened May 2023. Okay, what I'm apologizing for is I was wrong about something I thought she did. So the relevance is 2021. What happened in 2021 to now us becoming cordial and actually like being like almost like friends now. Okay. So the reason why I'm saying that it is irrelevant is because I'm not apologizing for anything that took place on May 5th, 2023. Because I'm not apologizing for that. But I can continue. And I don't know what you have as far as my evidence, as far as May 5th, 2023. But what I'm apologizing for and what happened before then has absolutely nothing to do with someone coming to my home on May 5th, 2023.
Who's Mama Kim?
Mama Kim is a person who has charges. I have proceedings with her right now, which have absolutely nothing to do with Krishana. They don't even. If you really would like to know, there's a group of people who have been filing false charges against me. And Mama Kim is one of those people. She has absolutely nothing to do with Krishana and her coming to my home though, or assaulting me. I've actually had to go to court 3 times so far because there's a group of people, including Krishana. I have video of that. I've been organizing things to get to just do things to me in my real life. And I can provide that to the court as well. But what she's talking about has absolutely nothing to do with May 5th, 2023. And she has nothing to do with Mama Kim. She has nothing to do with any of those people.
You know, I'm looking at, I mean, it has like December and all that other stuff. So I'm looking at it.
That's,
yeah, Yeah, some of the, what I was looking at December on.
But if you want to know who Mama Kim is, she's a person that also has threatened my
I'm what,
life.
ma'am?
Oh.
Listen to the stuff going on.
Wait a minute, let me pause. You know, I'm on the run. They don't call the cops. They don't call the cops. They want to call the cops, huh? You want to call the cops, huh? Yeah. You want to call the cops? You want to call the cops, huh? You want to call the police, bro?
It's and I'm looking at a screenshot. I'm assuming Mink Mob D, and and that's being you, Miss Milner. Is that it looks like it has a strand of hair or something in your hand, and you're laughing at it. Is that what this is?
I'm not sure. I can't see it.
Okay. Okay, Madam Clerk, can I show my screen at you right there?
Yes.
Okay.
My lens is on so. My swollen finger. Oh, you like to bite? Like to bite? Oh, you're a critter biter. You're a biter.
Okay, this is what is this? Are these the injuries you're talking about, Miss Milner? When you said she bit you?
She did bite me. There's the video of what happened. This is not the video of what happened. I sent that in though. But I did not. I sent that in the day, like the day that we had court the first time. So I don't know if you need it again.
All right, Ms. Milner, is there anything else you want to say?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yes, I have. Like I said, I have the video. If you want, like the video of what happened.
Yeah, I want the video of what's happening. I don't have that video.
So that's what I'm asking you. Do you? I've sent in the video before, so I don't know if I need to send the video of what actually happened.
Yeah, you need to send the video to what happened because I don't have the video of what happened.
Okay, so if you give me a moment, I can send you the video of what actually happened and what took place that day.
Okay. Well, that's what I would need to see.
Okay.
I mean, right now, there's no denying Miss Hinton stated she came up to the house, that she got out of her car, came up with the intent, at least to create at least a simple assault. The question is whether or not a battery had occurred in the situation. So the crime of simple assault has already occurred.
Okay. So.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Go ahead.
I wanted to correct you on your statement saying that I agreed already that I came with the intent to assault.
Well, you came to her house, mm-hmm. and you got out your car, okay, and yes, you said until you saw the hammer, it was a different story.
I actually said.
I'm just going by what you
actually stated that due to the apology and the on and off relationship, I actually thought that it wasn't going to be anything. But then when I got closest, I'm like, this girl got a doggone hammer. And that's when I like, oh, she's going to fight, you know, and that's when I realized that it was a fight, supposedly being ready to be happening.
And then what happened?
I understand what you're saying. But I just want to make sure that.
But you got to. Well, the problem is that you have to understand from the position of the person that is in this case Miss Milner position. What her thought process was when you drove up and came up in the yard. You said
I didn't come in her yard.
You said it came in the driveway, right?
I did not come in her driveway. She lives in a gated community,
right?
So I didn't even get into the fence. She came out of the fence.
Okay.
I didn't go into her yard. I didn't go to her home. She actually came to the street. what was outside already waiting.
Okay. Miss Milner, why did you go out to the street outside your
Yeah,
gate?
I actually didn't go out to the street. What happened was I did not know. I had went to sleep. I had just got in an accident, in a truck accident. So I was on like some medicine that made me really like drowsy and sleepy and a little weary. So when she was like upset, I didn't understand why she was upset. And I was asking her like what was the problem. And I didn't know that she was upset she wasn't upset at me. She was upset at one of my subscribers. And I hadn't been around because I had been in a lot of pain because I've had some damage to my back and my neck and also my hands. So when this happened, I was laying down, I was asleep. And then when I woke up, someone woke me up and said, Coolin is saying that she's on her way to your house. And I was like, what? And I'm like, what? Like, why is she like what? I was very confused as to why she was mad, why she was upset, or what was going on. So when I saw her, someone told me to go to the live stream and look. And I'm like, she's like really at my house. And before she could get to my door, I went to my gate because my family was here. And I'm just like, what is the problem? Like, and I couldn't believe that she actually came to my house. And when I went back and looked at it, she really streamed her coming to my house the entire way. And since then, people have been coming to my house, taking pictures. It's been a lot going on. But I told her, like, I really couldn't believe that she like was doing this. I did not even know that she was paid to come to my house. I didn't know she was being coached to come to my house. I didn't understand. So I really just sat down like, cool, is she serious? And I was saying, like, are you serious? Like, there's no way. She really drove. And she was like, I drove 45 minutes. Come down here. And I'm just like, I just couldn't believe she did that. And I sat down and she attacked me.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm trying to find one of those emails that I sent you where she actually streamed herself standing outside stating, hey, I'm out here. I'm outside. I'm here.
Yes,
standing here untouched, unbothered. Sweetheart, we were on a panel. I didn't have your address. You put your address in the back chats. Your Honor, I put that screenshot in one of those emails as well that has screenshot. I'm actually trying to locate that video, which email that video is included where she actually was outside of her fence.
All right.
Your Honor, during that last statement that she just made, she stated that since that situation, people have been following her. But prior to that, she stated that the Mama Kim lady has people following her. Everybody has their. Is it me? Is it Mama Kim? Who is it that's following you? Or allegedly?
What I'm really saddened by, two grown women,
Yes, sir.
with kids and lives are conducting themselves on this social media platform in such a way and fashion that it is not bringing any value to anybody other than drama to the people that are watching this. So
I can agree.
That's really what's really discerning to me. However, but I'm not, the fact that I may be discerned by what has transpired, I still have to follow what the law is. So
yes, sir. I also included a video where a young man had a sit down to try to just, hey, just you move on. And that's what happened. Moved on. This situation, it happened back in May.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me just go ahead and share the screen right here.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that ain't a bitch. It's like you want it, ain't it? It's what you want to make. Come on, fight. Is they fighting? Put the camera on y'all. Bitch, come on. What about fuck her ass up. Come on, turn the camera around. Man, oh man. Oh, that ain't a bitch. It's like you want it, ain't it? It's what you want to make. Come on, fight. Is they fighting? Put the camera on y'all. Bitch, come on. What about fuck her ass up. Come on, turn the camera around.
All right. Okay, so I heard enough in this situation. I don't find there's enough information in this case, enough evidence that there was a simple battery committed. Because the video that has been shown does not show any type of fighting amongst the parties, but it does obviously show you can hear something, but there's no identification of who those parties are. But I do find, based upon the information, there was a simple assault that was committed, so Ms. Hinton. Madam Clerk, can you call me right quick? I'm sorry. I had to get back on. Sorry, I'm back on. All right, Ms. Hinton, the court's going to find out that there's no probable cause for the charge of simple assault in this, and basically based upon the information that was elicited here at the hearing, and so that I will set a signature bond on that simple assault. And Ms. Milner, you have Madam Clerk, how long do we give them to come down and sign it? 48 hours?
It just kind of depends on, because people have 9 to 5, so they just kind of give them a few days. Sometimes it's up to a week to come down.
Well, I'm gonna give them up to 72 hours.
Okay.
Okay, to come down and sign. Now, I want you to understand, Ms. Hinton, this is only probable cause. It is not beyond a reasonable doubt, which I'm not quite sure if they're going to be able to meet that burden. And it may not go any further than just this court right here. Okay, the prosecutor may not be able to meet that burden, but the sheer fact is that you came to the house, even though you had the address, what you guys had already been previously in a beef, what we call beefing situation, even though it was over the social media. Ideally, so at this point, simple assault is going to be the application of the warrant in this situation. Okay.
Okay.
And once she signs it, you have how long do we notify them when they need to turn themselves in, Madam Clerk?
Can I ask the question?
Yes, ma'am.
So with this process, after the turning in and getting on the docket, it's a docket or court date, and then
what would happen is once you turn yourself in, you'll probably go to the court. They'll do or may not even go to court. They'll do what they call a signature bond. You just sign yourself a signature bond, then you'll be able to be released from court. But at some point, they'll give you another court date down the road if they decide to prosecute it. Okay, because it goes to another level of investigation after this is over with. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Right. And so I do caution.
Is it a way that, because like you said, beyond reasonable doubt and this, that, and the other?
Yeah, that's a whole totally different standard of proof. So that's not what happens in these situations. Okay. It's basically probable cause, more likely than not. So the bottom line is that Ms. Hinton and also Ms. Milner, you guys need to stay off social media regarding this incident or any other incidents between yourselves. Do both of your parties understand that?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Milner, I don't want this to come back and court be provided with information that that you have been basically antagonizing this situation.
I have one other thing.
Yes.
Can I say one other thing, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this young lady had another court appearance, I think a few days ago, and she actually played the recording on YouTube.
Well, I hope she's not recording this. Listen, if anybody is recording, I'm going to make sure we try to hold them in contempt.
You're on mute, Miss Milner, so we can't hear anything you're saying.
You're on mute.
Your Honor, that did not happen. I did not play any recordings. This is played on YouTube. So what
I
they like
actually sent the video in, sorry.
Excuse me. I think I was talking.
Listen.
What they like to do is play these recordings online.
I got it. This case, this matter is over with. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else that we need to do for them, for Madam Clerk?
Okay, so you said you was giving Miss Milner 72 hours. So would that be Thursday?
I'll be there tomorrow.
Thursday.
Sorry. One moment.
Thursday.
Now, one moment.
Yeah, please.
Miss Milner, you have until the 28th to come down to sign the application and the warrant. And then what time frame are you giving Miss Hinton to come down?
Ms. Hinton, so after what? After 48 hours? So turn yourself in within 48 hours?
Well, Miss Milner we have to make sure it's signed first.
That's right.
And then I have to, make sure so you can sign it, and then Miss Hinton has to turn herself in. So
we'll
maybe
notify her and that she needs to turn herself. Once we get everything signed, she has 48 hours to turn herself in.
Okay. So Miss Hinton and Miss Milner, I'll be sending you guys emails to let you know.
What I've been supplied with is a contempt order, final contempt order that was filed in DeKalb County on May 24, 2023, at the Superior Court between Barry Snowden, who's the plaintiff, and Angela Harris, who is the defendant. And it says, this is from front of the Judge Bethel. Present, both parties are present, plaintiff represented by Scott Shaw, and defendant appearing pro se. Testimony was taken from the parties, evidence was admitted. It is found that this court issued an order of contempt in order to clarify visitation on June 24th, 2022, that clarified the parties' parenting schedule in regard to February 1st, 2021, final order legitimation. Under the final order, the parties are to exercise parenting time on every other week schedule, with plaintiff having the children on the first and third week of each month. Okay. Mr. Snowden, you only sent one page. Let me see. You sent another page? Let me see. It's another page. Okay, Mr. Snow, you only sent one page. Okay, why Mr. Snowden sending that? Mr. Snowden, tell me what's transpired and what's going on. Why did you file this matter of interference with custody?
I haven't seen my children. I have joint custody, 50-50 legal and physical custody. Per our order, we have certain responsibilities for our children. So not just have I not been able to see them or speak to them on the phone, but I also haven't been able to be responsible for those matters. One of those matters being extracurricular activities and curriculum.
And where are you residing at, Mr. Snowden?
I live in Atlanta, Georgia, DeKalb County, and I also live in Omaha, Nebraska, Douglas County.
You only live one place. So
no, I mean, I split time between the two places. So I have a permanent address of Atlanta, Georgia, DeKalb County. Okay. That's where my ID is and everything.
Okay. All right, Ms. Harris, tell me we got a court order. And once I get the second page, there's a court order that you held in contempt. So tell me what's going on.
All right. Well, a lot, Judge Heard, has occurred. On the day in question, May 28th, 2023. First off, I received an email from the court. And the email actually was after I reached out to the court. It was on Wednesday it was that Wednesday of the Friday that I received the court ordered statement that said that I was to return the children to him and that I was held into contempt. And the order stated that I was to meet Bernard at the police station, and that was the South Precinct. Now, this was a address that was implemented due to the fact that he has consistently harassed me and had people at my address. People just show up. He has followed me and he's shown up to my house.
Hold on 1 second, Ms. Harris. Do you have any witnesses, Ms. Harris?
Yes, I do. My father is actually here and he's a witness. He came with me along with all of my children and my teenage sons who can testify that I was at the location on May 28th as directed by the court. And I also called the police and I asked the police to show up so that they can be a part of the peaceful exchange, since it has been a very abusive situation between Bernard and his interactions with myself and my children.
Ms. Harris, do you have a way to address that? You didn't properly address that if that was the case. Okay. I mean, you have an avenue to address issues if there's issues that regarding visitation, regarding whatever it may be, you have a way to address that, and that was not addressed. So I'm talking about, I hear what you're saying, but I can't, that is not what the subject matter of this situation is all about. Okay.
Okay. Okay. But I just want to pan back on what the order stated, which is the paper that he is not actually sending in is on that paper. It states that I was to be at the station, police station, on May 28th, to which I was there, and I did arrive.
And do you have a copy of the full order, that contempt order, Ms. Harris?
Yes, I do have a copy of it. I'm not sure if I sent that order to you, but I have it, and it's through the court that I received the actual order. I was to actually be on the correspondence for the entire court order, and I was not on the email correspondence. I was never even served properly for this contempt order. And the only reason why I knew about the contempt order and it being implemented on that day was because I woke up on the Wednesday and I reached out to the court because it had been so long and I was waiting for the court order to be sent to me. And I never received it until I asked for it. And that was the Friday before the Sunday that I was to bring the kids to the South Precinct on that day. So I was able to, in spite of not receiving the order and having any proper time given for the children to psychologically digest the situation, as they were extremely upset and they're extremely afraid of their father. And they have asked me repeatedly not to bring them.
Miss Harris, this is what you're not going to do. You're not going to try to change a custody order here. Okay, because that's what, if you needed to do that, you have ways and mechanisms to do that.
And I did.
Okay?
I did. I went to after the incident when he did not show up at the South Precinct. I got a text message at 10:30 in the morning. That was a whole hour and a half after he was supposed to be at the location, and he asked me why I did not show up. And I do have the police officer badge numbers and the names to the officers that were there for the exchange. And they told me that I was within my right to leave the location because I had been there for a whole half hour and I hadn't heard from him. So I ended up leaving the location and I went to my over to the barbershop. And that's where my father and his wife was. And I stayed there for a little bit, and I didn't make it back to my address until 12 noon. And when I pulled up, Bernard was actually standing 2 houses down. He was talking to a neighbor that I have no idea what their relation is because he doesn't know anyone on my street, but he was hanging out. He hadn't reached out. And then he came and he started bombarding me with threats. He told me that he should have strangled me and he should have kept on strangling me.
Let me ask you a question. Ms. Harris, did you file any type of police report regarding this?
Yes, I have filed many police reports to which they have tried to investigate, but they're unable to serve him. I have a modification, a child modification order that I have tried to serve him since last year, and he is evading service. And it led, the whole incident that occurred on May 28th led for the judge here in Douglas County to issue a protection order and harassment order against Bernard. And he has had this order.
So this is a 12-month restraining order?
Yes, it is. And it's implemented. It's already in place with or without him being served, because this county.
No, you can't. It's not, you only can have a temporary without him being served. In order for you to have a 12 months, he's got to be served. There's got to be a hearing regarding this incident.
The judge actually issued that it is in place for a year with or without service. And I did send.
Let me see, Ms. Harris, do you have a copy of that
order? Yes, I did send that to you, and you do have it in the email. It's the first 2 attachments attached to my email that I sent off.
Okay, when did you send that?
I sent that on, let me see here. And I actually have it up if you want to just.
No, I want you to send it to, there's an address, email address inside the chat that the Madam Clerk has sent out. That is placed, and I need for you to send that whole order to me.
I sure did, and I already sent it, and the date was on September 11th that I sent that order.
Why'd you make Leo bleed? Why'd you make Leo bleed? Why'd you make Leo bleed in the floor? Yeah, you did. I'll make you bleed right now. I'll make you bleed right now. Do something. Do something. That's a threat.
That was a YouTube video. That wasn't the information. No, okay.
That's actually what I just sent. I sent something on, if she says it's September 12th, then that's when I sent it.
Wait to see what it is.
Okay. That was actually him at my address, not at the location or the pickup time that he was designated to be for the drop off. He was hanging out on the street. And that was the evidence of him being not where he was supposed to be on that day.
Now, Judge, I did send both. I don't know if you received.
I just sent the email. Just only one I received is YouTube.
And Your Honor, can I add that he has definitely been evading service, because the attachments that I also sent is showing that he's supposed to have a job here as a subcontractor. So I don't know how he can have a job as a subcontractor in one state and claim to live in another state. And they tried to serve him at his job and they were unable to serve him. They've tried to go to his house a plethora of times and have not been able to be in touch with him. And currently he's sitting in his car, which is where he always is, Your Honor, because no one knows where he is. He stated that he doesn't know where I am. I've been living where I've been living with the children since 2019. And not to mention, Your Honor, he did wait 2 whole months since this incident. My question would be, why did it take him so long?
Well, the problem is that he doesn't have to answer that. I mean, I believe he's presenting evidence. I mean, this is not a situation where he has to answer questions. I mean, you can ask questions, but let me see. I'm here looking at these orders.
They also tried to serve him in DeKalb County.
What you had, ex parte protection order, harassment protection order. That was done on May 31st, 2023. Looks like it was ex parte order. Okay, so I'm sorry. This is Douglas County, Nebraska. It's not Douglas County here. Okay.
No, sir. I live in Douglas County, Nebraska, and I've been living here since 2019, November of 2019. And the jurisdiction is really the main issue. There should have never been a legitimation order in the county of DeKalb.
Well, the problem is you should have had an attorney to challenge that, unfortunately. And that obviously that order was never set aside. Unfortunately, you can't litigate that now.
The main issue is, in order for me to litigate, he must accept my service, and to which he never does. And that's the main issue. He does not accept service. When I have filed a contempt order previously against him because he kept the children for 3 whole months and did not return the children to me until September of, I can't remember the year, but I do have that contempt order, to which it was, and he ended up filing a contempt order against me after holding the children for 4 months. He never abides by the order, Your Honor. And he's constantly harassing me, and he is terrorizing me, to be quite honest, in this county. And because there's been so many phone calls, so many investigations that he's had opened up against me that have been unfounded, they have decided to implement an order to protect myself and my children.
But that order is not permanent. It says temporary. There's no permanent order that you have shown. That's a temporary order. pursuant to a hearing. So you can't
No,
give
the order is actually implemented for a year. That's what it states.
here's a temporary order here, and then you have an order that says here, it says issue further reasonable period from the citizen having jurisdiction part find the harassment protection order shall be issued without prior notice and hearing. This is an ex parte order. Respondent is enjoined, blah, blah. Request for a hearing form provided and returned to the clerk's office within 10 business days after service upon his or him or her. Says this order shall remain in effect during the time prior to the hearing. This is a May 31st, 2023 order. Ex parte harassment order. That was what, let me see. That's what, then it's a protection order. It talks about the next thing, talks about if there has been a protection order filed. Says the order to show cause of domestic abuse. I'm sorry. Respondent is prohibited to impose any restraint upon the personal liberty of petitioner. And that petitioner at this point in time was Bernard Snowden against Miss Angela Harris. And that looks like that was issued on looks like February 2nd, 2022.
To which that order was dismissed, Your Honor. I'm just showing that documentation as proof that he constantly is he's abusing the system and constantly harassing me through the court system.
Your Honor, I will say or interject if I can on that order that you're speaking about. Their mother was arrested for that protection order situation.
That is not true. That's not true, Your Honor. That's a separate situation that he's trying to infuse together. He actually had me arrested for lying on me, Your Honor, and that was also dismissed before the hearing, because he was unable to prove that I actually did what it is that he said that I did. He said that I threw a candle at his head, to which I did not. And that was another case. That was a separate case,
hold on.
Your Honor.
All I'm looking for right now is orders, okay? So
I understand that.
I need for both parties to remain silent. Thank you. Because all I see right now is temporary. I don't see anything that says permanent for 1 year. I don't see anything that says a permanent order. And I'm going through each one of the screenshot photos.
Can I resend it to you so you can see it? I don't know if you can't. Maybe you're unable to open it, but it's the first one that I sent, and it's with Cheryl Lohas. She was the judge, and it says on there that it is in effect for a year.
Cheryl Lohas. It says ex parte harassment protection order. It says should be issued. It reasonably appears from the specific facts, include affidavit that irreparable harm, loss, or damage will result before this matter can be heard on notice. Therefore, the court having jurisdiction of parties find that a harassment protection order shall be issued without prior notice and hearing. It is therefore ordered that unless otherwise dismissed or modified by order, the harassment against the parties is granted for a period of 1 year from the date of this order, and petition is granted the following relief. Respondent is enjoined from blah, blah, enjoined from harassing, molesting, okay. Respondent is enjoined from telephonic contact or otherwise communicating with protected. And so if the respondent wishes to appear and show cause why this order should not remain in effect for a period of 1 year, he or she shall affix to his or her current address, telephone number, and the signature on the request for hearing form, provide and return it to the clerk of court within 10 business days after the service upon him or her. This order shall remain in effect during the time prior to hearing, costs are waived unless otherwise ordered by the court. And is that what you're talking about, where it says the ex parte 1 year hearing, 1 year order?
Yes, sir.
But you haven't had a final hearing on that, correct?
No, because he's evading service. They've tried to serve him this order several times, and he's evading service.
All right. So, okay. Mr. Snowden, tell me what else is going on? What else you want to tell me?
It's not really to tell you, except, I mean, I could speak on what she's talking about, but there's really nothing there. I'm trying to see my children. It's been over a year since I've seen my children to the date. Last time I saw them was August 13th, 2022. And I taught my boys how to ride bikes.
Okay.
You know.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Snowden. Why haven't you taken this out in Nebraska?
Well, because my residence is in Atlanta, Georgia, and in the process that it is, it's no reason for me to do such. The person has also stated that she is planning on moving back to Georgia. So in that process, I can also tell you I haven't spoken.
That's not true.
I'm still talking again. I haven't spoken or communicated with this person outside of court dates, just like this communication is going right now. So in the information that I'm stating, and that's why some of the text messages that I sent throughout the as evidence, and the person telling me back in August of 2022 that I will not be able to see, find, or talk to my children is based on me teaching my children how to ride bikes. I will also say that the process and the information that we were just speaking about, or she was speaking about, I don't know anything necessarily about when we were talking about the February protection order, that was based on an assault that happened. The reason why the county prosecutor.
Let's go ahead. Let me get the focus back onto this interference with custody, okay? And is your allegation that she interfered with custody on the all right, I've heard enough. Let me go through this my research to find out what this will entail.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask that my witnesses are able to speak on behalf of the incident that occurred on May 28th?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you very
Who
much.
are they? And I need to rate you. Honestly, I don't want to hear from your children, okay? Because they should not be involved in this. This is one of the situations. I mean, you guys are, you chose to have these children, and you are both parties. To me, have these kids have suffered, and as a result, both of you should go to jail for cruelty to children. So, however, because this is unconscionable, because they have both a mother and a father. But let me hear from the other witnesses.
Okay, Your Honor, I have a witness here, Donald Harris, that can testify to.
Okay, Mr. Harris, please raise your
behavior.
Okay,
and why I left the state.
I don't want to talk about. I'm not talking about this. That's not the case for this. See, what you're trying to do is you're trying to litigate these matters that should have been litigated in this contempt and everything else. And when it was done with in front of Judge Bethel, so those things should have been litigated at that point. I'm here talking about the idea. No, ma'am. I'm here talking about the idea of what the charge is: interference with custody. Okay, and so and basically as a result of an order that was issued by the Superior Court, one was found you in contempt, and then the other order that gave a date certain regarding that was issued by Judge Berry regarding some things too. So that's what I want to talk about. Okay, I don't want to hear everything else about any other deal because we're not litigating your custody situation or change of custody situation here. Okay.
Okay, but what I can testify in truth is that I was at the location and I was there at the time designated, and Donald Harris, which is my father, he was also there with me.
I haven't spoken to my children one day since August 20th, 2022. So meet me at a location, which I have also went to that police station because I go there every week on my time.
Mr.
was not there.
Mr. Snowden. Well, what I say in the beginning about respecting everybody. So I want to hear from Mr. Donald Harris.
Yes, hello, I'm Angel's dad. Do I need to swear in?
Yes, sir. Raise your right hand. You swear firm testimony you give going to be the truth, the whole truth, under appeal of perjury.
I do.
All right.
Okay, do you want me to start with the day that that's in question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Angel, I was there with her. And she was there at the location. Mr. Snowden did not show up to exchange the children as was per the agreement. He came to her house later to start for a disturbance. He just started a disturbance after the fact. But we do have the police officers. They were there. There was a male and a female police officer, and so we have the. They said.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Mr. Harris. They take your name and file a report. Do you know?
They said that if we needed to know to have their testimony, that they gave us their badge numbers, and I'm not sure about the police report, but it was based on a call, so that it would be a peaceful transfer. But Mr. Snowden didn't show up. He showed up hours later, and was making a disturbance on the street. So, but there's been a protection order issued because of other things that he's done as well. He showed up at my place with a handgun. And it's on video.
Okay, well, Mr. Harris, did you file some type of paperwork? Did he get arrested for that charge?
I can't remember, that's been a minute. But I do have a video of that incident.
So let me go over the charges with you. The charge is possession that he's alleging is interference with custody shall be punished as follows. Upon conviction of first offense, the defendant shall be guilty of a misdemeanor, shall be fined not less than $200, no more than $500, or shall be in prison for not less than 1 month, no more than 5 months, or both fined in prison. And
Your Honor, but she was there, and we were there to exchange the shield. Bernard wasn't there.
And I believe it's purposeful, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I will say that the meeting is at a police station. So just like I did at that police station every week when they don't go or she doesn't arrive, because the exchange is at a police station, I get a note from the attendant that's inside because he's a police officer.
You did not that day because they told me you did not. You did not that day. They denied you that day of a letter. They denied you on that day. Yes, you have done.
This is what I'm going to do, Miss Harris. Okay. All right. I do respectfully request that while he's speaking, you remain quiet, and then you have something to say after he finishes speaking, then you can speak, okay? This is not, let me explain, so this is not something you see on TV, okay? All right, and I think this is what's happening. Everybody's just, and there's no boundaries here from none of the parties. And these kids are being used as pawns, sadly.
Your Honor.
Yes.
My grandsons and my daughter were in Atlanta. I got a call from Mr. Snowden's mother that told me that Bernard, her son, was being physical against my daughter and asked me if I would get her out of the house. So that's why I brought them to Omaha. Bernard followed them to Omaha with the same thing that he was doing in Georgia. And I wish that there was a way. It doesn't seem like he's willing to do the things that are right, to be a good dad. He's terrorizing his children. And to use the court to terrorize children is, to me, an atrocity.
I mean, I think, I'll be honest with Mr. Harris, is both parties doing the same thing. So one doesn't get any better pass than the other. I mean, I'm just looking at the paperwork, okay? Both parties have basically inflicted their own way of either manipulation in this entire situation. So I hear what you're saying, but that's your daughter. But my job is to be neutral in detaching this. And I hear and I see both. I'm hearing and seeing both sides of this situation.
I understand, sir.
Okay. Your Honor. Your Honor.
I'm done with everything. Okay.
Your Honor, can I ask you a question? Can I ask a quick question? I wanted you to, because you said a statement just now, and just because we're here, and I respect your point of view, because I know you're an accomplished person because you're a judge. Is when you're saying that we have used, all parties have somewhat done things that's negative to my children. I want to just say, what have I done in this situation that's negative?
Okay. based upon what I've heard and what's transpiring, there's a lot of animus going on between these parties. Okay, and that in itself is a situation that has not lent to a very conducive environment for these children.
He's not.
So
my God.
That's it, Mr. I got you,
I know.
Mr. Harris, Ms. Donald. That's you're
Honor.
a witness. Okay,
Your Honor,
Miss Angela. Yeah, please, Miss Harris, you probably want to be quiet. Okay. All right. Mr. Snowden, I hear what you're saying. I saw the court orders and what have you. They have information and they were there on the date certain that was supposed to be there. So as a result, right now at this point, the court does not find there's probable cause for this interference with custody, and this matter will be dismissed. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor, sir.
thank you, Your Honor.
And what needs to happen, Mr. Snowden, is that y'all need to be honest with them. Give you some suggestion. Y'all all need to go to family counseling.
I've already suggested it,
Yeah,
Your Honor, but
all
nobody-
parties need to go to family counseling. Miss Harris, you keep shaking your head. Let me hold on. Let me finish, Mr. Snowden. Let me say this: both parties in this situation, what's caught in the middle is the children. You need to go to family counseling. It doesn't have to. Family counseling does not result in both of you sitting down at the same time, but it's basically addressing issues that are between you. That will help bring some solidarity when it comes to raising these children. So the fact that you, Miss Harris, you were dismissive in anything to try to make this thing that's a problem.
Your Honor, I have tried. I have really tried, Your Honor. If
I want
only
you
you
to-
knew how
Your
much
Honor.
effort I have tried.
Mhm.
But there's some people you can't get through to. And there's some people that once you decide to separate because the situation is so tumultuous that they become
Right.
completely
Well,
hard to talk to, hard to get
let
to.
me just say this. Let me just let you know, Ms. Harris, that contempt action that he has against you is viable. And so there is some issues.
Your Honor, the fact that I have filed previously before that contempt order and have not been able to serve him. The only reason why he has that order is because I have not been able to track him down and serve him.
Ms. Harris, I'm just letting you know the order that was issued by Judge Bethel is live and in effect. Okay, so I want you to be mindful of that. Okay.
Okay.
And there is an incarceration part to that order. All right.
That's the protection order.
Yeah, no, it's not protection order. This is the incarceration part to the contempt order that was signed back in May.
Right. It was an incarceration part to the it was only put in place if I had not shown up. They said that they granted him to be able to fill out an application for my arrest if I was not there.
Ms. Harris, I think you probably want to get your lawyer to read that order for you, okay? All right.
Okay.
Thank you. DJ, all parties are excused. Jada, the biggie. Who is that? And who's iPhone? Who's iPhone?
It is me, Your Honor.
And you are?
This me. It's me, Judge.
Who is me?
Derek Roseberry.
Okay. You Derek. Okay. You just got D. You need to make sure we change your name.
She
Derek
changed it.
Roseberry. And
I'm changing it again.
Okay.
He left and came back,
Okay.
so I'm changing
who
it.
is Mr. Petway? Is that
Yes.
you on iPhone 1?
Yes, sir. That's me.
Put your hands right. Okay.
Mr. Petaway?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm sorry. It's just, I know we're on Zoom, but it's still open court.
Okay.
This is a matter that was, and it's alleged here that Mr. William Petway committed the grabbed and shoved her. He's a supervisor. He's a supervisor of Kiera Hughley and at Lead Preparatory.
Yes, I know. I'm the owner.
Okay. All right, tell me, Miss Hughley, tell me what happened.
On Thursday, July 20, Mr. Petway came into the building and he came to the desk and he said to me, he was like, see my face swollen? And I said, what happened? I just had surgery. And I said, oh, okay. Then he said, well, where? He asked for a particular employee I said, he's around here somewhere. So we started watching the camera to see where the person was. As I saw the person walking back up the hallway, I went to that person. Mr. Petway came and he started yelling, "What the F y'all doing?" And I said, "We're putting the units back into the rooms." At that time, the air conditioning in the building was inoperable. And it is against licenses to have inoperable AC with those scholars in there, especially during the summertime. So we were putting window vents back into classrooms because, you know, we had reported that the air conditioner was not working. My other supervisor did tell me that we had permission to go ahead and put those in. He got angry and began to just go off into a rant, cursing and telling me, you know, "What the F am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. This shit's stupid." You know, just going off. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And then told me, I said, "You can't talk to me that way." And he said, "I could talk to you any way the F I want to." And I said, "No, I'm not that girl. You can't talk to me any kind of way." He then told me to shut the F up before he put me on my A. And I said, "You have to do what you have to do." I went to my desk. He came back out the room and he said, "Get the F out. You're fired." I said, "Okay, cool." I grabbed my book bag and walked out the door. I called my other immediate supervisor and, you know, informed what had happened. I didn't realize that I left my wallet, so I could not leave the premises. Came back into the building, gave the keys, and got my wallet, and also went to the computer to log out because he was going through my email. So while he wasn't there, I just went to go log out. He came over there in a rush, started grabbing my arms, telling me, "I can't do that. I can't do that. Don't touch." I said, "I'm logging out and I'll be done." And he grabbed my arm and pushed me with his body. And I left the premises and made a police report that evening.
Okay. All right. Mr. Petway? You have anything to say?
Yes, sir. None of that is true. I came in the building. I went to my office. When I was walking to my office, it was like 2 or 3 employees coming out of my office, which we've had several conversations about her being in my office, which I was going to put a lock. Well, that's not it. So when I went in the office, before I went in the office, I said, "What are y'all doing?" She said they was putting the AC units back in the window, which we was in the process of repairing. The unit was not down. The building was probably around, I would say like 76, 77 degrees or something like that. But the employees want it down in the, like almost in the 60s almost, but it just can't do that when it's not working 100% properly, which it's not supposed to be that cold in there anyway. So when they did that, I said, "Well, y'all just doing whatever y'all want to do in here." And I went in my office. While I was in my office, I could hear her in the hallway saying something about what she wasn't going to do or whatever. And I literally just stuck my head out of the office. I said, you talking about me?" And she said something about she wasn't that girl, it is that girl. I said, "Man, I'm not going back and forth with you. You fired." And then she was like, "Okay, I could be fired, whatever." She went to get her purse. I escorted her out the building, told her not to come back in. I went back to my office. I got a 2-way window. I saw her coming back in the office. She was sitting down at the computer, downloading, I don't know what, some kind of intellectual property. I don't know what she was downloading, but I was not going through her email because I'm the owner. There's nothing in her email that I could care about. There's nothing in there I could care about. She was downloading something. I told her she had to leave. I touched her hand. She hit me 3 times with her cell phone. I backed up and said, "Yo, I'm about to call the police." And that's all it is. And then she ran out the building, and that was that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, Ms. Hughley, do you have any more witnesses?
I do have a witness. I also submitted a voice recording of the incident that as it was going on, you can hear me telling him to get his hands off of me. I never ran out of the building. I can also get video to show you that I did not run. He also called my husband. My husband called him to find out what happened because my husband was an employee there. He also talked to my husband and continuously called him to come have conversation to reconcile so that we can re-employ. And I told him no.
No, that's not true.
He told my husband.
I told Mr. Hughley, he called me and asked me, did I call his wife back?
Mr. Petway, let her finish saying what she has to say.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He actually told my husband, "Can you guys come back up here at 6:30 this evening? We can talk this out and talk about rehiring." I told my husband no. My husband said, "All I want to know is, did you put your hands on her?" His statement was, I was trying to get her out the building.
Okay. All right.
He called me 2 times, asked me, did I call his wife fat? I said, that I didn't call her fat. Then he called me back and said, yeah, you're right. You didn't call her fat, but did you tell her to get the F out your building? I said, I didn't do that either. So all that about me talking about come back and rehire, I don't know about that, because I had several opportunities to rehire her. I don't want to rehire her.
All right. So we got here. We got a recording.
I don't have one.
You deleted it.
I also have
Hold on. I'm trying to hear your recording that's not playing. It has no sound. Yeah, go ahead and play it from your end, please.
Hello? Hey. What's going on? I terminated McCura. Why? Because he was being disrespectful. So I terminated her. She's always disrespectful to me.
I'm sorry, who is this for?
That's not what she said it was. That's something that's between
I don't want to
between
hear
me. That's between my ex-wife. My ex-wife is recording all my conversations.
Mr. Petway, please remain. I'm gonna ask you a question, but right now I don't want to hear anything between a conversation between him that you having with someone else about what transpired.
No, you'll hear. You have to listen to it. You'll hear me say, "Get your hands off of me." When he put his hands on me, he was actually on the phone with her. So that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, all right, that's no problem. You can't do what you did, and I'm a partner too, so I'm keeping her on. The police is coming to remove you. Devon, do not do that. Hey, get on this computer. Get on out of here. Devon, don't do that. Devon, don't. Hold on, let me call the police. Devon, don't do that.
As you can hear, I told him to get his hands off of me. Because
that's me calling. That's me saying I'm calling the police. I don't know anything about any hands. That I literally, before I even knew that was a recording, I told you exactly. I said I am calling the police. So if I'm harassing her, how am I calling the police?
Mr. Petway, let me finish listening to the recording. Thank you, sir. Go ahead, Ms. Hugo.
That was me telling him to get his hands off of me because he was grabbing me and shoving me as I was logging off of my items off the computer. He never called the police. The police was never called. I actually called the police myself. He spoke with my husband and told my husband, I was just trying to get out of the building, as if it was something that was candidly. You can terminate me all you want to. That's okay. You just can't put your hands on me. And that is what he did.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you a question, Miss Hughley. So when you were notified that you were fired to exit the building, but you came back into the building, correct?
I did, because I was also told that I was not from the other partner as well. And you can hear her on the radio, on the phone, telling him she's not fired.
Okay. Your Honor, you can go to the
permission. I got permission to go back in because my wallet was in there. I left the key on the counter as I got my things and logged off the computer.
Your Honor, she earlier said she grabbed her purse and left. Secondly, you could go to the Secretary of State. I am the CEO, CFO, owner. My wife is the secretary.
All right, Ms. Hugo, is anything else?
I just like to say, Judge, I've been with this company almost 4 years, and I've never been reprimanded for disrespect to Mr. Willie. And so for him to say I've been disrespectful or that's what it was, it's never been an instance where I have done anything to disrespect him or for him to have cause to do what he did. And it's okay, but it wasn't okay for him to put his hands on me. And that's why I had to draw the line. And that's why I called the police and made my report on the same day.
Okay. Your Honor, we had another hearing with her saying I was stalking her. They threw that out because they said that, I mean, I've never had any other contact with her since that day or before that day. And I've had numerous conversations with my wife to terminate Ms. Hughley, period. And that's a fact.
All right. Okay. I've heard enough of the evidence. And Ms. Hughley, right now, I do not find there's enough probable cause to issue a warrant for the charge of battery in this matter. and you have not crossed the threshold we call probable cause, should have been, I can't tell you what should have been done, but there wasn't insufficient, there wasn't enough in this in order to find there was probable cause to issue a warrant. So as a result, this matter will be dismissed.
Thank
Now,
you.
you have other avenues. So,
I know, I do.
Okay.
I've already started some of those.
There you go. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Petway, you're excused. Mr. and Mrs. Hughley, you guys are excused. Thank you. All right. It looks like Shantira McCrary took out a application for search warrant, for arrest warrant against Derek Jonathan Roseberry, and who was a student at Southwest DeKalb. Derek says that Derek got upset that my mother was talking to him about selling drugs in her house. As I attempted to leave the house to get away from his behavior, he continued to yell and threaten me. Okay. And so this was set for a hearing, and that was witnessed by Philip McCrary. And let me ask the question: is Philip McCrary and Shantira McCrary, are y'all related some way?
Husband and wife.
Okay, husband and wife. All right. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to ask the parties to do, go ahead, Miss Shantira McCrary, tell me what went on.
Okay, so on the morning of July the 31st, my sister, my husband, and I.
And your sister, please call people's names out.
Okay, so Philip McCrary, Shawanda Terrell, and I got up to go take some gifts to the hospice facility that had cared for my father, whose service was that previous Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Upon leaving the facility, Shawanda asked if I would mind taking her to the mall to return some clothes. The clothes were at our parents' house. So we went to my parents' house to get the clothes. Once we got to my parents' house, my husband, Philip McCrary, stayed in the car. And I told him I was going in the house to speak to my mom because she just gotten off dialysis that morning.
And what's your mom's name?
Excuse me?
What is your mother's name?
Brenda.
Brenda McCrary?
Brenda Terrell.
Okay. Because you keep saying like mother, she's pronouns. So I need to find out. I'm trying to find out who all the players in this. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. So Brenda, my mother, she had just gotten off dialysis, so I wanted to go in and check on her. And of course, because my father had just passed away, we just buried him. So once I got into the house, Brenda stated that she had received several calls saying that Derek was selling drugs during the service, and she was upset. And I told her that I had seen him make a transaction in front of her house the day before. At that time,
what is the relationship between Derek and your mother?
That's his grandmother.
Okay. So you and Trina Roseberry are sisters?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So at that time, Brenda, his grandmother, approached him about selling drugs during the service. At that time, he became upset and started yelling and saying, we were bothering him and don't worry about him. And nobody's going to put their hands on him. At that point, I decided I was going to leave and proceeded down the steps. Derek also came down the steps. We went outside. I was walking down the sidewalk, going toward my car. At that point, he bumped into me really hard, and I kind of extended my arms to keep him, from pushing me, to kind of put some distance between us. At that point, he started hitting me, and I ducked so that he couldn't hit me in my face. Philip realized what was happening and got out of the car, and he stepped between Derek and I to keep him from hitting me anymore. and told me to go back into the house because I was closer to the house than I was to my car. At that point, Philip also entered the house after I did, and we barricaded ourselves into the house. At that point, Derek started beating on the door with chairs and burst through the glass in the door. The wood was falling off the door frame. Once the glass broke, he began spitting at us through the door, yelling obscenities, telling us his dad was on his way to beat us up and that he was going to beat our A and all kinds of things.
And then what happened at that point? When were the police called?
The police were called during when he was beating on the door. And we submitted video evidence of what was happening while we were inside the home.
Okay. Okay, let me hear from the witness. Is that
Yes.
Shawanda?
Yes, Shawanda Terrell.
Okay, Ms. Terrell, tell me what you observed, what transpired.
I was with Shantari Terrell and Philip when we arrived at the house to pick up. I was actually returning some shoes to the mall and they were taking me.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got to the house, I went in to get the shoes. Shantari went in to speak to my mother, well, our mother, Brenda Terrell. And like Shantari said, my mother was upset because she said she had phone calls from multiple people saying that Derek Roseberry was selling drugs at the service. And pretty much that weekend that week when people were at the house prior to my father's service. And my mother was upset about it. And my sister told her that she had witnessed it as well, a transaction as well.
Open the door so I get in my room.
Go ahead.
And my mother went to DJ's room and asked him about it. And she was talking to him calmly. And she wasn't irate. She wasn't any of that. She was just talking to him about it. And actually, all three of us were trying to tell him that's not something you want to do. I mean, Shantari and I are his aunts. So we're trying to tell him that's not what you want to do. You don't want to be part of the system. And you can't do it at our mother's house. Our mother is 73 years old. You can't do that. So he became very upset to where, I don't know. He was upset with my mother. He stepped toward my mother as if he was going to do something to her. And that's when I stepped in front of her. Shantari went downstairs. DJ went downstairs after. I stayed upstairs with my mother. She went downstairs shortly after that, and I was still upstairs. And when I came back, when I went outside, actually, that's when Clint was getting out the car, Philip McQuarrie. And it was said that DJ had actually Derek Roseberry, we call him DJ, had been violent toward Shantari. He was threatening us, telling us what he'll do to us and what his father will do to us. And we went in the house and we closed the door where DJ was locked outside. Derek Roseberry was locked outside. Mm-hmm. He destroyed my mother's door, kicking it, hitting it with a chair. She has these iron chairs on her porch. He actually broke one of the chairs, beating on her door. And she had probably like a quarter of her door is glass. Okay. At the top. It has the arch glass in the top. Mm-hmm. He beat that until it was just no more glass. Okay. He was still threatening us, telling us what he'll do to us, and his father's on the way to get us and trying to get us to come outside. And yeah. Okay. He spit at Clint. He actually spit at Clint twice. And I think the second time hit him. Okay. All right. Is that Clint or are you talking about Philip? Philip McQuarrie. Okay. And Phillip, his father came and picked him up and took him away. Okay. Philip,
Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, Sean.
Is your story about consistent with everything else been testified to?
Very similar. I called them, like I said, I wasn't inside the house for what happened in the house. As they came outside, sitting in the car, I realized, Derek was confronting my wife, and again, them being nephew and aunt and nephew, I realized they might have been arguing with each other. But when he swung at her, I got out the car. I did get in between them. I told her to go in the house. I did actually stay out there with Derek for a second to try to talk. I kept asking him, "What's going on? What are you doing? What's going on? Why are you acting like this?" He walked up the driveway, and again calmly, "Hey, what's going on? Why are you hitting her? What are y'all doing? What's all of this happening?" Eventually, he continued. He was irate. He was saying that I hit him. I never raised a hand at him, but he mentioned I hit him, and I wouldn't be talking out there if his daddy was out there and his dad was coming and all this stuff. Eventually, after they went in the house, I went in with him, but he was trying to come in as well. I did close the door, didn't let him in the door because with him being irate, me being the only male there, like I said, their mother, Brenda, being 73 years old, the two of them, I felt it was best to keep them separated. When he came into the door and hit it, he kicked it and kept saying, "Let me in, let me in, let me in." He was beating it to the point the frame busted. I called the police and told them, "Hey, get over here. He's acting irate." About 45 minutes, took about 45 minutes for him to get there. This whole thing lasted. Eventually his father came, stood over looking in the window, asking what was going on. Tried to explain to him what was going on. There are several videos of his behavior, outside the door. There's a video in one of the videos. He even tells his father. What was going on. Well, he told his father he hit me, and his dad said, "Well, they called the police on you," and he said, "Well, I just tell him he hit me first." They ended up leaving by the time the police got there.
Mr. Rosenberg, you need to wait until I ask you for you get an opportunity to speak, okay? All right. Anything else, Mr. McCray?
Yes, while in the house, once the window was busted, like I said, I stood there by the door. I kept my foot on the door because he was coming through the frame of the door. After several obscenities, he did spit one time toward his aunts. We were all in the general vicinity. He spit one time toward them, and then as he was leaving to go with his father, he turned around and spit directly at me.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rosenberg, Derek, what do you don't have to say anything. You can you have the right to remain silent.
I want to explain what happened.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think I don't remember. I don't exactly remember what day it was. When they came over 3 deep, and like came over all three of them together. And I was in my room. I had just helped my grandma. We had been getting a lot of calls from my granddad, and they had because his funeral was the day before. So actually, I do remember it was a Sunday. His funeral was the day before Saturday. So he had been putting food up and a lot of other stuff. So I was tired. I went to my room. Then
And for those that are not on, that does not speak, you guys can mute yourself, please.
all I know is that when they came upstairs, they kept saying DJ's selling dope in the house. DJ's selling dope in the house. And I told them, I said, I'm not selling dope in the house. Every time I get a friend to come over, because I don't stay with them. I stay with my grandma. They don't stay there. So every time I get a friend to come over, they're thinking I'm selling dope to my friend, or me and my friend are doing some dope in the house or something like that. So when this time it wasn't even anyone over. It was probably the day before yesterday. It was one of my friends. He ride forward with me. His name is Isaiah. He had came over for a little bit. He probably stayed over about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then she told me, she said, I just seen you do a transaction. And I told her, I said, no, I didn't do a transaction. That's what transpired into that day. That's what had happened the day before. But when they came that Sunday, they were saying, oh, you're selling dope in the house. You're selling dope in the house. And they came to my room with my grandma. And the one, Shawanda, she's my other auntie. She's the one who came. She was more loud about it. She was like, oh, he's selling dope in the fucking house, saying stuff like that. And then at this point, I was like, I'm not selling dope. And then I try to walk away and she pulls on me. And when she pulls on me, I'm telling her at this point, I'm like, just let me go. Just let me go. So I try to walk in in the bathroom in my grandma's room, because in the house is like a straight ahead and it's like two rooms. So I try to walk away. I try to walk to my grandma's room and she pulls on me again saying, oh, I know you're fucking selling dope in the house and all that. And she's saying, you're really gonna do that at my mom's house? And I'm like, nah, pretty much. She's saying, and then that's when she's saying, you gotta leave. And I'm like, this is my grandma's house too. Like it's filming me up at this point. I'm like, this is my grandma's house too. So while she's saying that, I tell her at this point, I'm like, just talk to my dad about it, because I'm kind of getting mad. So I'm like, just talk to my dad about it. I called my dad. She was like, no, nobody care about your pussy ass dad. He's a whack ass dad anyway. He hasn't been there for you the whole time your granddad died. So as she's saying that, I'm getting more mad now, because I mean, my dad, he was here for me when my granddad died, but he wasn't. He does concrete, so he wasn't able to come every day, which I mean is understandable. So, but when she says that, it was making me more angry. So as I walked downstairs, Shanteri, that's when Shanteri, she was standing up. She was like, I'm finna show his little ass something. So I try to walk downstairs. Shanteri, she walked down behind me. And at the time, I should have grabbed my keys. I didn't grab my keys to my car. Because if I would have grabbed my keys to my car, I would have been able to hop in and go. But I didn't grab my keys. So as Shanteri, she's walking down there saying stuff to me, saying stuff. And then Hookum, that's when she's still like saying, don't nobody, she sees me calling my dad. Now she's like, call your fucking dad. Don't nobody care about your whack ass dad. So as I'm walking outside, that's when Shanteri, she's following me. Then Clint, he hops out. They have a Tesla. He hops out. His car, the Tesla. And then, because he was driving, he drove them there. He hops out thinking that I'm putting my hands on his wife, which, I mean, at the time, I'm not going to be biased. I can see why he did that, because he's being protective of his wife. But when he hopped out, he hit me, and then I hit him back. And then at the time, like, I was getting more mad because there was already more stuff going on. So when I hit him back, he runs in the house, and I'm not gonna lie, I told him, I said, you won't be hitting on me like that when my dad comes, because my dad is probably about 6'6", 250, 300 pounds. He's not fat, he's kind of like muscle kind. So I'm like, you won't be doing this when my dad comes. And then I'm not gonna lie, I called him a few names. I was like fat ass, and stuff like that. And that's what happened. And then after that, after he runs in the house, I get mad because I'm like, this is my grandma's house too. Like, this is my grandma's house too. They telling me like, you gotta go. Like, my grandma isn't saying anything. Like, she walked upstairs kind of like, and then she came downstairs like she really don't know what to do. So as I get mad, I take the chair and I threw it at the door. And then that's when my dad pulled up a little, probably about 5-10 minutes after that. My dad had tried to talk to Philip, and then when he tried to talk to him, Philip wouldn't come outside. He wouldn't say anything. But then my dad called Philip and was like, we're thinking like the situation.
Man, can you even stay on stuff you say?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Whole different.
Okay. Well, I'm going to show you some videos that they have submitted in this matter.
Yeah, on the one thing, can I say one thing?
No.
Sure. Okay.
Them little ass goddamn twist in your mouth. Them little ass twist in your mouth. Them little bitty twist. Them twist so small. Them little twist.
And this is the broken window on the door.
Yes, I threw the chair. Once I threw the chair at the door, it broke.
That should have let me in. I'm hot out here. It's hot. It's no air out here. Y'all in the air.
And then at this point,
I'm trying to go to my room.
let me go to my room.
Look, y'all
They're-
trying to my door fix. I'm not fixing that.
They're
I
saying
ain't
like,
come with the problem. Y'all did. You
Yeah,
get hit first. And go back and look at the video, you fat fuck. I didn't hit you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about this fat ass right here. Fat ass nigga. You fat ass. Cut it out, David. David's looking there. I'm just gonna come in the house. Stop me here on my door. You let me in my room. And what the fuck are you? Look at me. What are you? Look at me. It's broke now. You should have let me in. I was gonna open that door and you were acting like you were acting. I didn't do nothing to them. They came at me with problems. They didn't come at you with no problems. If I said I'm not doing something, don't worry about me. Keep it going. I'm not your son, I'm not your daughter. And that's especially not your fat ass, you titty slanging ass nigga. You goddamn donkey looking ass nigga. Shut the hell up. About 300 pounds and a man body.
And I'm assuming that this is his grandmother just having this conversation with him? Is that a yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me in my room. Thinking like a water. Man, can you even stand on something you saying? Fat ass fucks. DJ, you ain't got no thing to tear my door up. I tried to get it. House. It's my house. This is not your house. It's not your fucking house. Let me in. Why you doing this in front of me? Why would I want you standing outside? Why? Why? Because you acting like I don't want you standing outside. Because you acting like you come in and get my stuff. And leave. I wasn't about it. Nobody. All I did was try to talk to you and tell you what's right. My house, man. I bet I won't go to jail. I bet you my grandma won't press charge. Fat fuck. Shit. That's what I'm trying to tell you, motherfucker. You glad that shit didn't hit nobody. You low like piece of shit. You can call us whatever the fuck you want to. Ever be on our motherfucker. Yeah, man, sir. You can be what you want to call me. You'll never be like me, look. Bitch ass. Bitch. Bitch. See who gonna need who. We don't see who gonna need who. Bitch. Fuck you talking about, bitch. Stop keeping on my dog. It's broke now. You should have let me in. You should have let me in. But guess what? I just want to get my keys so I can go. That's all I was trying to say, so I can go. Nobody want to let me in the house. The car that you got from Shantair? But guess who fixed it up? My car you got from Shantair, but you don't need nobody, right? My mama. Yeah. My mama fixed it. The same mama who you beat up and threw up in a windshield? Yeah. Same. Okay, bro. Let me in out. I'm touching my motherfucking hand, nigga. Oh, I ain't shit, bro. I don't care. You ain't gonna let me in the house, you supposed to be my grandma. I had your back, bro. You supposed to be my grandma. Look how you done did about that. I've been standing outside. You don't understand how mad I have to be standing outside. It's hot out here. I'm sweating. And look at the neighborhood. Nigga see me sweating. I'm hot. I'm hot. Sweating. It's hot out here. Just trying to go in the house. I bet you won't touch me. I bet your fat ass won't touch me. Fat 300-pound ass bitch. That's why your mama even say you the biggest one out of everybody. Fat ass said that. Said that fat ass. DJ, why can you say that to your aunt?
And this is the ring camera from prior to the incident?
This just shows the outside view of him hitting the door when he first starts hitting the door.
All right, is there anything else from anybody else? Anything else you want to say?
There is a video of him actually spitting on Mr. McCrary.
Right, he's only charged with simple assault, okay? Not simple battery. That's what the warrant here is for simple assault. Okay. All right. I'm after hearing the evidence from all parties, testimony, and also watching videos of this matter. I find there's probable cause to issue the warrant in this matter. That being the warrant being simple assault. and I'm pretty sure if this matter proceeds on further, there are going to be other additional charges added to this, possibly. But right now, the warrant is of simple assault in this matter, and there's also is to be a stay away order. Mr. Rosenberry, I'm sorry, you need to stay away from Philip McCrary and also Shantira McCrary.
Okay.
So if they come to any place that you're at, you have to leave.
I have to leave. They come where I'm at.
Any place that they're at, you cannot be near them. That's a stay away order.
Okay.
Okay. Mom, let me hear from Trina. Miss Rosenberry, you're on here. We got these are very serious allegations. A very serious matter that has transpired here. And I'm not here to minimize. I'm not here to what you call it, but I wanted to let you know this is a very serious situation that transpired. It probably could have gone a whole bunch of different ways that particular day. And other than just us coming before this situation here, I think there needs Mr. Derek Roseberry. I think you probably need some counseling. You got some anger management issues that you need to address. And they're going to probably, as part of whatever they do. And I don't know if we could order that. Madam Clerk, can we order that, or they don't allow us to do that anymore?
No, Judge.
No, okay. All right. So basically, in this matter, the bond will be set for each charge will be set in amount of Mr. Rosenberry, what year are you in the South Gab?
23.
Okay, you graduate this year coming up?
Yes, sir.
You tracking to graduate?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. He never failed any classes.
I'm sorry, Miss Roseberry, what you say again, Trina? Trina Roseberry?
I said he's on track to graduate. He's never been in any trouble in school. He is on track to graduate. He's passed all his classes.
Okay. All right.
And you can, I'm not making excuses, but you can bring other people in and they'll tell you, I don't really bother anybody. I don't do
Yeah, but I'm just going by what the evidence right now. Derek, and it to me is very problematic. Okay. I'm just going by what the evidence right now. Derek, and it to me is very problematic. Okay. Just be honest with you.
It was a lot that.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set your bond. It's going to be $750 per charge. That's a total of $1,500. That can be made through a bondsman and or cash or property. Okay. So what will happen is we would give Miss Shantira McCrary and Philip McCrary, you have 72 hours to come down and sign these warrants. Okay. And then after that, Mr. Rosenberry, you have 48 hours to turn yourself in. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No.
All right. Madam Clerk, is that all that I need to address in that situation?
Yeah, I do need a good email address for Mr. Rosenberry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jan.
And I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell everybody else. You guys probably need some counsel, the whole crew. I mean, Derek. I'm not a big advocate of jail is the cure, but it needs to be a situation where you guys need to have some conversations amongst as a family. And you may need a third party professional to come in and do that to assist. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I think.